أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولقد آتينا لقمان الحكمة أن اشكر لله ومن يشكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه ومن كفر فإن الله غني حميد. وإذ قال لقمان لابنه وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير. وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا واتبع سبيل من أناب إلي ثم إلي مرجعكم فأنبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير. يا بني أقم الصلاة وأمر بالمعروف وانه عن المنكر واصبر على ما أصابك إن ذلك من عزم الأمور. ولا تصعر خدك للناس ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إن الله لا يحب كل مختال فخور. واقصد في مشيك واغضض من صوتك إن أنكر الأصوات لصوت الحمير. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Oh, it's not on. Inshallah ta'ala, as chosen by the organizers of the masjid to go through some of the verses that speak about the advice of Luqman to his son. And I thought in fact that was a very, very good choice. The reason why I say that is we're in the month of Ramadan, right? We hear about it all the time on the minbar, in different reminders, lectures that are given by different speakers, that this is a month of what? A month of Quran. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told us in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran came down. So it only makes sense that in this month we give a lot of concern to the Quran. Whether it is that we recite it, whether it is that we ponder, contemplate, reflect upon it, whether it is that we try to memorize it, whether it is that we try to look up the tafsir and read the tafsir, all of this, my brothers and my sisters, is befitting that we do in the month of Ramadan. And my brothers and my sisters, you know, us reciting the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, pondering upon it, probably has the answer to all the problems that we're suffering from. Whether it might be a particular sin that keeps bugging us, that we are struggling to rid ourselves with or from, whether it is that we're trying to introduce a good habit into our lives, whether it is that happy life that we're chasing, right? Wallahi, my brothers and my sisters, I know multi-millionaires who want to commit suicide and they are Muslim. They've had all that money, they've had all the cars, they've had all the VIPs that they ever wanted, but the sweetness of Iman is missing from their hearts. If we just ponder closely what Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned, he said, فَإِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ إِذَا قَرَأَ الْقُرْآنَ وَتَدَبَّرَهُ كان ذلك من أقوى الأسباب المانعة له من المعاصي أو بعضها. If the individual, he reads the book of Allah Azza wa Jal and he ponders upon it, this will be from the greatest of reasons or means that now prevent him from falling into ma'asi. Or if it doesn't take all of the ma'asi out of his life, the least it does, it takes away some. It rids him of some of these bad, evil, filthy acts that he may be addicted to. Whether it might be from the things that he watches at home, whether it might be what he can't stop doing with his hands, whether it might be that he can't stop himself from walking into those places he shouldn't be walking into. Sometimes one may say, Wallahi, I'm a revert, or I'm new to practicing. My parents never taught me from a young age how to recite the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. I find it difficult. I say to you, recite the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us, وَالَّذِي يَتَتَعْتَعُ وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَدِيدٌ أو وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ, as it came in another narration, the person who stutters or finds it difficult to read the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, فَلَهُ أَجْرًا. This individual, he gets two rewards. You trying, stumbling, stuttering, inshallah ta'ala, you're accumulating a lot of reward. Also, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, ما رأيت شيئا يغذي العقل والروح ويحفظ الجسم ويضمن السعادة أكثر من إدامة النظر في كتاب الله. I haven't seen anything that feeds the mind and also feeds the soul and also preserves your body and guarantees you happiness. We all want the happiness, right? Is there anybody here who wants to stay miserable or wants to be miserable in his life? I don't think anybody who has a mustard grain of intelligence would say that. Everybody wants the happiness. Everybody wants to be happy. Whether it is they try to seek that in a wife or in a car or an affair of the dunya, everybody is chasing after it. And then he says, أكثر من إدامة النظر في كتاب الله. I haven't seen that which gives me all of this more than what? Constantly looking in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. If we sit here today all the way till tomorrow, people bring all their problems. I'll guarantee you, my brothers and my sisters, whether it is marriage problems, whether it's the problems that we have between ourselves and also our kids, our co-workers, the businesses that we have, except we're going to find that answer in the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla or in the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All the answers are there. Allah says, مَا فَرَّطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. We haven't neglected anything from the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? All of the answers is there. So my brothers and my sisters, it's now or never. If we can't build our relationship with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month, when do you think we're going to be able to do that? They say that the month of Ramadan is the month of change. One wants to introduce a good habit into his life, or he wants to rid himself of a filthy habit. It's this month. Why? إذا دخل شهر رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة وغلقت أبواب النار وسلسلة الشياطين. When the month of Ramadan enters, the doors of Jannah are swung open, the doors of hellfire are some shut, and the shayateen are locked up. So if one wants to do something, you find that his whole surrounding is pushing him towards that good act that he's trying to do. There might be encouragement from the people in your family. There might be encouragement the moment you walk into the masjid. Everybody is doing good things, right? You find that the rahmah is ever coming down in this month. Everything is calling you to do well. This is why, my brothers and my sisters, if we can't pick up the book of Allah Azza wa Jal and read it in this month, we really need to go and check ourselves out. If you have an illness, you woke up in the morning and you're feeling sick, what's the first thing that we normally tend to do? Go into the cupboard, right? We try to get what? Paracetamol, sah? Or we're on the phone to the GP. If you call at 8 o'clock in the morning, the GP is busy, there's maybe 20 people in the queue. Or we go running to the NHS because we have a what? Physical illness. Am I lying, guys? That's right. Sah. Why don't we do the same, my brothers and my sisters? If maybe we're suffering from a spiritual disease that's maybe stopping us from picking up the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is exactly what Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, لو طهرت قلوبنا لما شبعنا من كلام ربنا. If our hearts were pure and clean, we would not have become bored of the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. So in this month, my brothers and my sisters, we can't pick up the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. We really need to examine ourselves. We have to do something about it. So, like I mentioned, felt like it was a good idea that this topic is discussed because there's so many gems and pearls mentioned in the advice that Luqman gave to his son. There's a lot of benefit that we can take. It's beneficial for the elderly and it's also beneficial for the youngsters because he's speaking to a young boy and he's old in age. So it's something that is what? Comprehensive for all types of audiences and people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ. We gave Luqman hikmah, wisdom. What is wisdom? They say هو وضع الشيء في موضعه. It's to put things in its proper place. Somebody might have a lot of knowledge, but he might not necessarily have what? Hikmah, wisdom. Knowing when to use it, knowing how to put things in its proper place, knowing what to say, when to say it, and when not to say it. And this is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says in the Quran, وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever is given hikmah has been given a lot of good, as Allah Azza wa Jal mentions. I remember a couple of years back, a brother asked me for something, and this really shocked me. He said, when you go inshallah ta'ala to visit the Kaaba, please make dua for me. Make dua that Allah Azza wa Jal gives me a lot of knowledge, and most importantly, He also gives me what? Gives me wisdom. This is not a dua that many people tend to request from others, right? And then I understood why. Because Allah Azza wa Jal says what? وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever is given hikmah is given a lot of good. I've seen people come back with a lot of knowledge when they were studying abroad, but because of them not knowing how to deal with the people around them, how to be wise in delivering that knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted them with, they ended up shutting down their own da'wah. Before they even started, it finished. That's why a person should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for wisdom. He knows how to go about with the knowledge that he has. Sometimes an individual, he embraces Islam and he wants to build the Eiffel Tower, what? In 24 hours. What do I mean by that? Or a person, he starts practicing. He wants to change everybody in the world in a heartbeat. And we know, guiding the people, it takes what? It takes time. Don't expect that everybody's going to throw roses at you, red ones, not green ones, red roses. Huh? And say, oh, tfaddal, come give us da'wah. Huh? It takes time. And because of maybe a couple of statements that he says, he's maybe what? Fallen 3 years back. What do I mean by that? It's going to make him, maybe take him a couple of years to just build the relationship between him and his father or his mother. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? No. Had he dealt with it in a proper way, it's only maybe a couple of steps that he needed in order to try and convince them. But now, they're totally shut out. They don't want to listen to him. Anishkur lillah, so that he may be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another issue that I'm going to mention is that the Mufassirun, they mention or they speak about or they discuss, was Luqman a prophet or was he not a prophet? Because in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala it doesn't state that Luqman was a prophet, and they spoke about it. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala, he discusses this in Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. You can also find this in the tafsir. He quotes عن عكرمة عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى. Who was Ikrima? Ikrima was from the students of Ibn Abbas. Even Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions in his, or you can find it in the Majmu' al-Fatawa, أعلم الناس بالتفسير هم أهل مكة. The most knowledgeable of those with regards to tafsir are the people of Mecca. Why? Because هم كانوا أصحاب ابن عباس. They were the companions of Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu was something else when it comes to tafsir. Some scholars even hold that Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu's tafsir takes precedence over many of the other tafasir that the companions give. Like Zarkhashi rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions this in Al-Burhan. Tafsir Ibn Abbas muqaddamun ala baqiyat al-sahaba. But anyway, this is something that they discussed and they differed over. Why? Because the Messenger has made dua for Ibn Abbas. When a tafsir comes from Ibn Abbas, we need to say, Salimna. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? Because Ibn Abbas, the Messenger made dua for him. He said, Allahumma alimu ta'wil, Allahumma alimu al-Quran, Allahumma faqihu fi din. Oh Allah, give him an understanding in religion. Oh Allah, teach him the tafsir. Oh Allah, teach him the ta'wil. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? So here Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he mentions أنه كان عبدا حبشيا نجارا. This man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the book of Allah, in his book, he was an Abyssinian slave who was also a carpenter. Means Sudan, Misr. From the province of Sudan and Egypt. These are places what? Are very close to one another. ثم قال, then Ibn Kathir mentioned, ثم قال والمشهور عن الجمهور أنه كان حكيما وليا. That which has become very very well known amongst the Jumhur, أنه كان حكيما وليا. He was somebody who was very wise and he was also wali. He was a saint, somebody very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we stand over this for a moment, my brothers and my sisters, it becomes very apparent to us that this man was special. If you look in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, we find that it's filled with what? Prophets and messengers, right? This man who was an Abyssinian slave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised his status. That just shows you, my brothers and my sisters, no matter what color you are, no matter how smart you might look, or how beautiful your outer appearance is, you can be black, you can be yellow, you can be white, you can be green. You can be good looking, you can be not so good looking. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He raises whoever He wills. And this man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made him from amongst those who He mentioned in His blessed, magnificent book. He must have been special. And through his advice, it becomes very, very clear how wise this individual was. So then he goes on to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anishkur lillah, so that he may be thankful. Ash-shukr, my brothers and my sisters, being thankful. Being thankful is min ajal al-ibadat. It's from the greatest of ibadat, worships that a person can engage in. Even Imam al-Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala, in his lines of poetry, speaking about the characteristics of the awliya, the saints, those very close to Allah Azza wa Jal. He says, شَكَرُوا الَّذِي أَوْلَى الْخَلَائِقَ فَضْلَهُ بِالْقَلْبِ وَالْأَقْوَالِ وَالْأَرْكَانِ. Those, they thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is most deserving to be thanked, and the blessings that He gives, بالقلب. They thanked him with what? The heart. Also with their tongues, and also with their limbs. These are the three ways in showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do it with the heart. How do I do that? By recognizing the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal, and not being like those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defamed in the Quran. يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا. They recognize the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal, but then they do what? They negate it. Allah Azza wa Jal defamed them in the Quran. And also with what? Saying Alhamdulillah. The blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being apparent on your tongue. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us this about Sulaiman and Dawood in Surah An-Naml. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ عِلْمًا. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ عِلْمًا. We gave Dawood and also Sulaiman, we gave them what? We gave them knowledge. وَقَالَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي فَضَّلَنَا عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And what did he say after Allah Azza wa blessed them with ilm? Alhamdulillah. All praises to Allah Azza wa Jal. الَّذِي فَضَّلَنَا. The one who preferred and favored us over many of the creation in the world. How many times do we say Alhamdulillah in the day? All of these blessings that we have, the blessing of food that many people are deprived of. We see what's happening. Just today I saw a video going round, and somebody put a caption. This is how the people of Syria are celebrating the iftar, with bombs falling in and around them. They barely have anything. Food that we have that we're going to be eating today for Maghrib. It requires what? Us to extend our gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jal. And then we also what? Show thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with our limbs. Came in the hadith, Abi Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala an Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كان إذا جاءه أمر يسره خر ساجدا لله. Whenever something came to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that brought happiness to him, he would rush to prostrating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in thanks. It's called sajdat al-shukr. It's not when you're inside the salah. If I find out now that I've received good grades, in my university studies, in my university exams, I can just rush to doing sajdat al-shukr. A prostration of thanks is called. Ask yourselves, my brothers and my sisters, when is the last time we did so? When we have constant, continuous blessings that we are being blessed with all the time. This is exactly what the Messenger ﷺ used to do. He used to do this all the time when a good piece of news was brought to him. And we also show thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our limbs by doing the things that Allah Azza wa has told you to come with, and to staying away from the things that Allah Azza wa told you to stay away from. Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to stand for so long in the night. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, she would say to him, why are you tiring yourself, O Rasulullah, when Allah Azza wa Jal has forgiven your past and also your future sins? This is what we're told in Surah Al-Fath, right? إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ اللَّهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. We have forgiven your past and your future sins. And you know what his answer would be, guys? He would be praying till his feet became red. أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Shall I not be a very thankful slave? صيغة المبالغة فعول. Showing his gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his prayer. It's one of the greatest ways to show it. A person using his hands, instead of being somebody who recognizes the blessings, as Allah says time and time, وَاذْكُرُوا آلَاءَ اللَّهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Remember the blessings of Allah so that you may be successful. You using your hands with that which you shouldn't be doing is a means of what? You being ungrateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. You using your tongue in that which you shouldn't be doing is a means of what? You being ungrateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. You using your feet to go to places you shouldn't be going to is a means of what? You being ungrateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. Imagine, my brothers and my sisters, the The moment we are using our ears, ala sabil al-mithal, I'm going to give an example, listening to the things we shouldn't be listening at, like music. The how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a heartbeat can take that blessing away. Or the eyes, deep into the night, under the blanket, we're looking at things we shouldn't be looking at. Allah tells us this, وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَذَهَبَ بِسَمْعِهِمْ وَأَبْصَارِهِمْ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed, He would have taken away your what? Your eyesight. And also your hearing. And it could happen. Many people have lost their eyesight in a heartbeat. He went to sleep, woke up, it wasn't there anymore. Likewise his hearing became affected. And Allah Azza wa Jal could definitely do that to you. So one needs to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these three ways that I mentioned. And my brothers and my sisters, it's always a win-win situation when you thank Allah Azza wa Jal. Because you thank Him, what do you get? You get more. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. You thank me, I'll give you more. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says to you, نِعْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِنَا كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي مَنْ شَكَرْ. It's a blessing from us. And we will reward those who are thankful. Sometimes Allah Azza wa Jal, He teaches you an ayah and you think to yourself, but so and so, he's got more. He's able to memorize more than me. That's a problem. Messenger of Allah has taught us a principle in life. انظروا إلى من هو أسفل منكم ولا تنظروا إلى من هو فوقكم فهو أجدر ألا تزدروا نعمة الله. Look at those below you, those who are less fortunate. Don't look at those above you, because that will make you more thankful. This is something that our sisters really need to pay attention to. Those who are married especially. And likewise the brothers. Sometimes, we struggle to control our eyes. We always think, oh, so and so is great to her husband, and then that guy, he does this to his husband, not to his husband, but to his wife. And then it causes us to maybe change our attitude towards our spouses. And then problems start occurring. I'm not saying that you should settle for less and not maybe suggest to him to kind of maybe improve in some bad habits that he may have. But wallahi, looking at those above you or those who are more fortunate than you could be the reason why your marriage breaks down. Because wallahi, there's many sisters who are being beaten by their husbands. There's even guys who get beaten up by their wives. The uncle there is shaking his head. He knows this is something that is there in the community. She's wearing the trousers in the house. One day you are in the kitchen, the other day I'm in the kitchen. Equal rights. There's things out there like that. Anyways, this is not a marriage counseling session. That's maybe a discussion for another day. وَمَنْ يَشْكُرْ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ. And whoever is thankful, he's only benefiting himself. He's only thankful for himself. Don't think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs your thanks. As I mentioned earlier, you're the one that is benefiting. And through that you're going to get more. Today you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for one ayah, He's going to give you more. Tomorrow it could be that you're memorizing 3, 4, 5 ayat and it's become very easy for you. And you thank Allah Azza wa Jal for one wife and Allah Azza wa Jal gives you another. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Whoever is ungrateful. The word kufr, my brothers and my sisters, can be split into two. You have the kufr that takes you out the fold of Islam. When a person now goes to maybe the grave and he calls onto the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is an act of kufr. Because he himself, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said to you, إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْئِلِ اللَّهِ. When you ask Allah Azza wa Jal. Just like I wouldn't take my salah and give it to somebody else, I wouldn't do that with my dua, because the dua is an ibadah, just like the salah is an ibadah. So you have an act of kufr like going to Jesus, maybe thinking that Jesus is a God besides Allah Azza wa Jal, or worshipping a cow, or doing the other things that one shouldn't be doing that will demolish his Tauhid and totally nullify it. Then you have another type of kufr, and that is to be ungrateful. Even Imam Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala, he has a chaptering in his Sahih, Kufranul Ashir wa Kufrun Duna Kufr, showing kufr to the husband. What does that mean? To be ungrateful. And he called it the minor kufr, because we know you have major kufr and you have the minor kufr, and it's a serious sin. So the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he brought the hadith of Abi Sa'id and also Ibn Abbas, أُرِيتُ النَّارَ فَإِذَا أَكْثَرَ أَهْلِهَا النِّسَاء. I was shown the fire, and the majority of those who are in the fire were women, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said. And he said, يَكْفُرْنَا. They show kufr. So a very smart woman, she said, أَيَكْفُرْنَ بِاللَّهِ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Do they disbelieve in Allah Azza wa? He said, no. يَكْفُرْنَ بِالْعَشِيرِ. They do kufr to the husband. So the point of the matter is, here we have al-kufr. Because here it's mentioned kufr, one should know that there is a distinction between two types of kufr. That which is mentioned in the Quran sometimes can be what? The major one. And sometimes can be what? The minor one, of being ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ, and whoever shows, or whoever is ungrateful, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. غَنِيٌّ, my brothers and my sisters, it means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most not in need of the gratitude that you show Him. مثلا, you want to be ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah Azza wa Jalla does not care, because He's not in need of you thanking Him aslan. أنتم الفقراء إلى الله. He tells us, you are the ones who are in need of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Fuqara was mentioned. Fuqara, which basically means what? Poor, right? We hear this all the time. So and so is faqir, the fuqara. Allah tells us that you guys are the fuqara. Wallahu al-ghani al-hanid. He is the one who is most not in need of your actions. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, He tells us that He is Hamid. أي أنه محمود عند خلقه. He is forever praised amongst His creation. بما أولا هم من نعمه. Firstly, He is always praised due to the fact that they are always what? In bliss. They're always being blessed. وَبَسَطَ لَهُم مِّن فَضْلِهِ. And He what? Always extends His blessings onto them. So if you are ungrateful, there's always those who what? Are showing their gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from His creation. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ. And when Luqman said to his son, when he was advising him, يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. O son, do not make shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and my sisters, the lesson that we take from this is giving time to our kids. Just the other day I was being told about some mums who have spent the overwhelming majority of their life in education. And after she gets a PhD, she takes her kids to where? To kindergarten from 7 to 7. And when she's told, sister, you're not going to give time to your kids. You're not going to just stay at home, nurture them. Isn't this something that is more beneficial for you? And you can let the husband, bring money to the house. Wallahi, I studied all my life, what? To look after kids? My brothers and my sisters, they say it is one of the greatest feelings that a person can experience when he has a child. Most of those who have kids will agree to that. It's one of the greatest feelings that a person can experience. But it comes with a very big responsibility. Luqman gave time to his children, or to his child here, admonishing him of the most important aspect of his religion. and that which is going to save him from the fire. If we don't give time to our kids, my brothers and my sisters, just remember, there will be people that give them da'wah in the schools. And we should not be surprised that tomorrow they're turning out to be atheists. Or they bring back home with doubts. Why should we be surprised when we never ever taught them anything? And when they went to the schools, they were taught a lot of things. I remember in school, one time the teacher in RE mentioned, everybody draw your gods. So the Hindu obviously is going to draw a little statue or the cow that she worships, right? And the Christian is going to draw Jesus on a cross, right? وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ مَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. They never killed him, they never crucified him, Allah teaches in the Quran. But he was somebody similar. And all those who worship different gods, the Sikh is going to also, And then they came to the little girl. Are you not going to draw your God? Oh, you can't draw your God. If you can't draw your God, it's already starting putting little doubts in their hearts. And then the sister, a little girl, she's asking herself, everybody's got their drawing, I don't. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? Doubts are being instilled into them from a very young age. Comes with a very big responsibility, as the Messenger ﷺ told us, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ فَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ عَلَى أَهْلِ بَيْتِهِ وَهُوَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْهُمْ. Every single one of you is what? A shepherd. And he's in charge of his flock. The husband in the house, the father, he's in charge of his household. He has to make sure that they get an understanding in the religion. Because if they don't, and he passes away, Messenger of Allah tells us in another hadith, مَا مِنْ عَبْدٍ يَسْتَرْعِيهِ اللَّهُ رَعِيَّهِ يَمُوتُ يَوْمَ يَمُوتُ وَهُوَ غَاشٌ لِرَعِيَّتِهِ إِلَّا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ. There's not a person who has been given the responsibility, he's been made a shepherd of something, and he doesn't fulfill the obligation how he should be. In another narration it explains, what is this obligation? وَلَمْ يُحِطْهَا بِنُصْحِهِ. He did not advise them accordingly. إِلَّا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ. Except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the Jannah haram upon the individual. Having children is a double-edged sword. You know how they say the phone is a double-edged sword, right? Likewise, having children is a double-edged sword. They could either make dua for you after your death, or they might curse you. I've heard with my own ears a guy cursing his dad. Alhamdulillah, he's gone. Never gave me any time anyway. And they could be from those who what? Make dua for you. Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us, إِذَا مَاتَ الْإِنسَانُ إِنْقَطَعَ عَنْهُ عَمْلُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثٍ. When the son of Adam passes away, all his good deeds that he was doing before come to an end, except three things. And one of them is what? وَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. A righteous child that he left behind that was making dua for him. That's the type of child who was taught the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who was made to realize the value of his parents. But us maybe, and I say this to communities all the time, sitting maybe when the majority of the day in the cafe talking about politics, lying to the government. The mum has to run up and down every single day. Take them to school, bring them back from school, and then take them to madrasa and then bring them back to the house. And the guy is chilling talking about politics in the cafe, having latte and cappuccino, while the mother's going absolutely crazy. It's a responsibility. In another narration, Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us that one is being raised. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, man's being raised. And he asked, Bima ya Rasulullah, Bima ya Allah, why am I being raised so much? You know what he said, my brothers and my sisters? بِدُعَاءِ وَلَدِكَ الصَّالِحِ. أو باستغفار ولدك الصالح. The fact that your child is making dua for you, he's being raised on Yawm al-Qiyamah, he's being raised in rank. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? Can you see now how it can either backfire and how it could play in good hands? The time and the effort that we give to the children, and how that could benefit us. It's an investment. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, my brothers and my sisters, he's on his deathbed. أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي. When death came to Yaqub, he said to his children, what are you guys going to worship after me? What are you guys going to worship after me? That's what he's most concerned about. That's what his mind is occupied with. قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون. We're going to worship that one Lord, the Lord of Ibrahim, Ishaq, Ismail. وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله. This is the first advice that he gave him. Do not commit shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, my brothers and my sisters, somebody who gives da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that which makes him distinct is this characteristic of calling to Tauhid. And that's very important that we know. If one is not calling to Tauhid and he doesn't start his da'wah with that, there's something seriously wrong. And you should think twice by listening to him. Because this was the occupation of who? The messengers. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. Every messenger that we sent, it was to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla alone, to single Him out in worship, and to stay away from the Taghut. Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, he called his people for 950 years. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ فَلَبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَىٰ 50 عَامًا فَأَخَذَهُمُ الطُّوفَانُ وَهُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. What was he calling them to? Just worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. اعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا بي شيئا. Likewise, when you go out and you try to give da'wah, the first thing that you should start with is what? The issue of Tauhid. Some of us might be sitting here today thinking, oh, but we don't, there's no one here worshipping statues. Why do we need to just bang on about the issue of Tauhid? The religion is more comprehensive, more bigger than that. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Especially to you youngsters today. Put your hand up if you heard one of your Muslim friends say, swear on your mom's life. You've never heard this? Some of you guys, huh? The overwhelming majority. The overwhelming majority of those who are here today. Do you know, my brothers and my sisters, this is a deficiency in Tawheed. This is more worse than a man having zina with his mother. Did you know, my brothers and my sisters? Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, "Man halafa bighayri Allahi faqad ashrak, or faqad kafar." Whoever now swears by other than Allah Azza wa Jalla, this person has fallen into a shirk. It's the minor shirk, and he could rank up or rise to being what? Major shirk. But anyways, that's a discussion for another day. And we know we have major shirk, and then we also have what? Major sins. There is something in between, and that is what? Minor shirk. And anything that is minor shirk, my brothers and my sisters, it is greater than any major sin that a person might commit. The zina that a person commits, guys, when we find out that the girl next door is pregnant outside marriage, everybody's going crazy. Oh my Lord. A'udhu billah. Everybody's speaking about it. Do we hear that about when somebody has said, I swear on my mom's life, or I swear on my dad's life? People just look at it so trivially. Something that has absolutely no significance whatsoever. Also, these ta'weezes that are so... You guys know what ta'weez is? Or is that not so widespread here in Nottingham? Very widespread, right? In London, not so, they say. The moment you start going north, you reach Leicester. Leicester is a hotbed when it comes to ta'weezes. It's a hotbed. And the more you go north, to Bradford and them kind of places, Manchester, it's even worse. Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man allaqa tamimatan faqad ashrak." Whoever hangs a tamima, they call it in Arabic. In Somali they call it hirsi. Huh? And in Urdu they call it what? Ta'weez. Hanging up these ta'weezes, thinking that as long as you're wearing it, it's protecting you. And if you're not wearing it, that day you might get afflicted. That's a problem, guys. And the majority of these ta'weezes, when you open up, you know what you have inside? Shaitan's name, Iblis, Qarun, Haman, and all of these names. I've seen with my own eyes. Again, so widespread, right? The issue of Tauhid, my brothers and my sisters, needs to be revived. Wallahi al-Azim, my brothers and my sisters, something that came to my mind right now. This Hajj that just went past, okay, I was told by one of my friends, brother called Ustadh Yasin Munya, some of you guys may have seen him, that there's a speaker that's going to be with one of the groups that is going to be accompanying you in Hajj. And he calls to calling onto the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Again, this is a problem. I witnessed this in front of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam's grave. Guys walking past, saying, Ya Rasulullah, aqdi hajati, Ya Rasulullah, I want a child, Ya Rasulullah, kada wa kada. Again, that is worse than one making zina with his mother. That's a major sin. And killing 99 people, guys. Okay? So anyways, he was telling me there's this guy going to be with you guys in the group. And also he knows 7 qira'at. 7 qira'at. You guys know what the 7 dialects of? Sometimes you غير المغضوب عليهم. There's different ways of reciting the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. ولا الظالين. No, ولا الظالين, sorry. I'm not expert when it comes to qira'at. غير المغضوب عليه زراتي. There's a way to it. على أي حال. That's a discussion for another day. Point of the matter is, somebody who knows the dialects of the book of Allah Azza wa Jal really, really well. Are you with me, guys? He's a master in the Quran. So anyways, I came. He was leading the salah in the building because his group was staying in the same building as well. What happened was, started leading the prayer. And I prayed behind him as well. I thought, oh, maybe, this is not, it's true. So later on we go upstairs, this guy jumps on me. Not physically, but starts debating with me. Even my dad's shocked. My dad always goes as a Salafi that, is really, really rough and tough. And because this time I'm seeing the Sufi do that. And he always, has a soft spot for them. And ala kulli hal, says that they're always the nicest of guys and they behave. طيب. He starts having a discussion, being really, really rough and tough. Ala ayyi hal, to cut a very long story short, I said to him, Sheikh, we're in Hajj, don't want any problems. Get on with your studying and your teaching, inshallah ta'ala, to the people. If you want to call the people to Maliki fiqh, that's entirely up to you. You want to call them to Shafi'i fiqh, I'm Hanbali, we can, there's the issue, inshallah, no problem. Just do your thing. But don't bring controversial issues to the table. So I said to the brother, Sheikh, look, I believe a controversial issue is already Maghrib? No way. Okay, I'm going to quickly mention now actually, the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is لا يزال الناس بخير ما عجل الفطرة. The people, they will remain upon khair as long as they hasten to break in the fast. So holding sometimes the timid is what? Sunnah. People look at you sometimes, what's wrong with this guy? Like, just relax, innit,
5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Khalas, I'll quickly mention the story inshallah ta'ala. I said, Sheikh, we don't want any controversy while we're on Hajj. We just want the people to perform Hajj. And then khalas. So he goes, what do you mean by controversial issues? I was like, Sheikh, if somebody's going to stand on the minbar and say that you go to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and call onto him, that's a problem. We've come here now to do Hajj. Some people have spent their life savings. They might end up nullifying the Islam if somebody ends up saying this. So I mean like that, controversial is like that. Wallahi, the Shaykh ended up getting so angry. He ended up getting so angry. Because how can you claim to be the family of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because we're from Ahl Bayt, right? And I'm not saying you can't go to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm mentioning this story, my brothers and my sisters. There's issues like that needs to be rectified in our communities. Every Hajj somebody says to me, brother, why did you keep calling about Tauhid? Nobody's worshipping statues here. In Hajj, while we've got Ihram on, giving a reminder about Tauhid and the importance of it and how the Hajj itself is Tauhid. If that was the only topic that I was discussing, still there's no problem. Because the Messenger ﷺ said, خير الدعاء دعاء يوم عرفة وخير ما قلت أنا والنبي لا إله إلا وحده لا شريك له. The best dua on the day of Arafah is to say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك. What is that? That is Tawheed. And the best thing that I and the prophets before me have ever mentioned is what? It's La ilaha illallah. It's Tawheed. Even though that isn't the case, if that was the case, there would be no problem. And I witnessed with my own eyes and heard with my own ears. This is the most sacred place on the face of this earth is where? Where is the most sacred place upon the face of the earth? Mecca, right? People going around the Kaaba saying, Ya Ali anjina min an-nar. Oh Ali, save us from the fire. An Egyptian who was also doing tawaf, he shouted from the other side of the haram, say Ya Allah. And they raised their voices even more louder. Oh Ali, save us from the fire. This is the first advice that Luqman gave to his child. Very good teaching them about the salah, about the siyam. They might not necessarily even have a salah and a siyam if the tawheed hasn't been rectified. If they don't know how to worship Allah subhanahu, how they should be worshipping Him. Are you with me, my brothers and my sisters? And that's a vital, crucial point. So inshallah ta'ala we're going to stop. Maybe we'll finish it off another time, on another occasion, inshallah ta'ala. We only managed to go through 2 ayat. It's like a third of the page. Inshallah another time, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanallahu ilaykum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.